You ever watch a rookie's first real test and feel like you're seeing two seasons compressed into one afternoon? Shedeur Sanders walked into his first NFL start with a spotlight that could fry an egg. Famous last name, viral expectations, and a city that's been starved for answers at quarterback. He left Las Vegas with a win, his first NFL touchdown, and something even more valuable, a little clarity. Not perfection, not a miracle. Just progress you can point to and say, okay, that's something to build on. You don't win on theatrics alone. The stat line, 11 of 20 for 209 yards, one touchdown, one interception, reads tidy but not world-shaking. The real stuff lived between the numbers. A 52-yard strike that flipped field position and a 66-yard screen that turned into his first NFL touchdown when Dillon Sampson outran the entire Raiders secondary. That screen wasn't magic by accident. It was a clean, accurate throw into space where the runner could do the rest. That's quarterbacking 101 executed well under pressure, and it matters more than highlight reel aesthetics. Let's be blunt. The matchup helped. Las Vegas's offensive line has been a sieve, and Cleveland's defensive front went to work. Sacks, pressure, turnover chances. A dominant defense makes a quarterback's day easier by shortening the field and shrinking margin for error. Still, winning is the currency of coaching decisions, and a win with a rookie starter after 1 week of first-team practice buys you patience and a closer look. Kevin Stefanski didn't pick Sanders because he wanted headlines. He picked him because the tape and the result gave him something to test. But there's nuance here that a single clip or box score can't capture. Sanders wasn't handing the ball off and hoping for miracles. He showed poise on rollout reads, placed the ball where his playmakers could attack, and didn't panic when protection broke down. He absorbed pressure and threw away what he couldn't make into something positive. For a rookie with only a handful of NFL snaps, that's less lucky and more competent under duress. That competence is the difference between being an audition and being an option. Of course, the skeptics have a list. Advanced metrics flagged his negative EPA and low success rate. Strip the 66-yard touchdown out of the ledger and you get a cleaner look at the mistakes, the interception, a handful of stalled drives, and timing that wasn't crisp on every snap. That's fair. Film doesn't lie and sample size is everything. But the job here isn't to crown a rookie king after one afternoon. It's to evaluate whether he has traits that can be coached. On that score, Sanders passed a key litmus test. He didn't fold. There's something else worth watching. Chemistry. The 52-yard pass to Isaiah Bond wasn't just an arm throw. It unlocked a receiver who'd been sitting on speed almost unused this season. That connection matters. When your rookie QB can get deep shots on rollout timing and put the ball where a speedy rookie can outrun coverage, you create mismatches that transform playbooks. Add in the effective screen game and a willingness to use the run game creatively. Even a wildcat look with Quinshon Judkins, and you have the beginnings of schematic identity. Not a fully formed defense, but a toolbox that can expand. Winners and losers in this decision are straightforward. For the Browns, the upside is knowledge. Give Sanders reps, see what he can do over a stretch, and then compare him fairly to Dillon Gabriel. For a franchise that's hovered around mediocrity at 3-8, the downside of finding out sooner rather than later is tiny. You either accelerate a young player's timeline or you confirm he's not the answer. Both outcomes move the organization forward. What about the quarterback competition itself? Gabriel's body of work matters. 8 games, 6 starts, and he's earned chances. But starters aren't chosen out of sentiment. They're chosen out of results and trajectory. The Browns have to balance fairness with pragmatism. Is Gabriel getting better, plateauing, or regressing? Is Sanders showing a curve that suggests future value? That's the season's central question for them now. Letting Sanders start gives the team direct data instead of hypothetical arguments. That may sound clinical, but in the NFL, clarity beats conjecture. There's a human layer here, too. Sanders handled the post-game heat gracefully. He talked about practice, about critics, and about his mindset in a way that exposed both hunger and humility. To win is crazy, he said, noting the short window he'd had with the first team. That line matters because confidence and perspective are what separate bubble quarterbacks from starters. Composure is teachable to a point, but belief on the field is contagious. The locker room noticed. Coaches notice. That's currency. Now, don't confuse this week's decision with long-term endorsement. Starting him against the 49ers is a significant step up. San Francisco is a challenge on multiple fronts. A stingy defense, complicated pressure looks, and a front that eats up rookie mistakes. If Sanders plays well against a top opponent, the narrative shifts from promising to contender. If he struggles, the Browns will still have learned a lot. Either way, more tape equals better decisions. What should Cleveland's short-term plan look like? Keep it simple, intentional, and protective. Simplify reads without limiting playmakers. Quick options, schemed rollouts that use his mobility as a safety valve, and plays that exploit the strengths of receivers who gain yards after catch. Lean on the defense in the run game to shorten possessions. Give Sanders a week of first-team reps and keep the pace measured. The goal isn't to manufacture a highlight reel. It's to build a body of work that allows the staff to make a real comparison. And for fans who want drama, patience is a filthy word until it isn't. A rookie's growth is slow and jagged. Flashes will happen alongside setbacks. That's normal. The smart fan watches tape, not tweets. The smart front office creates conditions for growth, clarity on series of starts, consistent coaching messages, and honest film sessions. That's the framework in which the Browns' choice makes sense. Find out now, not later. Final thought, NFL decisions are rarely elegant. They're messy, loud, and often unpopular until they're vindicated. Cleveland's move to let Shedeur Sanders start is the kind of messy decision that promises clarity. It's not a love letter to novelty, it's a pragmatic test. Win, and you complicate the offseason plan in the best way. Lose, and you get a clearer picture of what to fix. Either way, Cleveland now has less doubt and more direction, and in November, that's worth more than a viral clip.